Good afternoon. Today's lesson is 8.2, solving equations with more than one step. Let's begin. The first question reads, 3x minus 5 equals 16. Similar to 8.1, our goal is to get the x variable by itself. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get rid of the 5 by moving it to the other side. To eliminate the 5, we have to do the opposite. Right now it is currently minus 5. The opposite of minus 5 is, of course, plus 5. If we add plus 5 to the left side, we must do the same to the right. Negative and positive 5 will cancel out, leaving you with 3x equals 21. At this point, to eliminate the 3 and get the x by itself, we have to do the opposite once again. This is 3 times x. The opposite of multiplying, of course, is to divide. We'll do that to both sides. Our 3's will cancel out, leaving us with x equals 7. All right, for the next one here, if you could just go ahead and pause your video and attempt this question, I will put the answer up momentarily. Thank you. Now that you've had an opportunity to attempt it, I will add the answer. Once again, it's important to always do the opposite. If you remember to do the opposite in order to eliminate something, you should have no issues. Here we have x divided by 4. The opposite of dividing by is, of course, multiplying. So we'll multiply both sides by 4. These will cancel out, leaving us with x equals negative 20. Okay. Our next question, a little bit different, brings in some fractions. We have 2x plus 1 over 10 equals 3 over 5. Now, there's different methods to solve this type of question. I prefer to eliminate the fractions first off. So to eliminate the fractions, I have to look at the denominators, which are 5 and 10, and I'm looking for a multiple that both of them will divide into. So a multiple of 10 and 5 that they will both divide into is 10. So I have to multiply everything by 10. A common mistake at this step is to forget to multiply the 2x by 10 because it is not a fraction. But if you were going to multiply, you have to do it to every single term. So we're left with 20x plus 1 equals 3 times 2, which is 6. Now we're back to a more standard form of a question. We will minus 1 from both sides to eliminate the the positive 1, leaving us with 20x equals 5. 20 times x, the opposite is to divide, both sides by 20, leaving us with x equals 1 over 4, or if you were turning it to a decimal, it would be 0.25. All right, take a moment, pause the video, and attempt this question yourselves. Thank you. Now that everyone's had the chance to attempt it, I will add the answer. Plus 2 equals 3. Now you'll have to check and see what your individual teacher prefers, whether they want the answer in fraction form or in decimal form. For this one, we'll just leave it as a fraction. Y equals 1 over 8. Our next question, x divided by 2.8 minus 2.5 equals negative 3.7. We have to, the fact that the decimals doesn't change anything. We treat the question exactly the same. The first step is going to be to eliminate the 2.5. This is minus 2.5, so the opposite is to add 2.5 to both sides. So cancel. X over 2.8 equals 3.7. Negative 3.7 plus 2.5 is negative 1.2. At this point, we have x divided by 2.8. The opposite, of course, is to multiply. Just give me a moment. I'm going to grab my calculator and I will have the answer for you. The answer is negative 3.36. All right, once again, pause the video and attempt this question on your own. Now that you've had an opportunity, let's see how closely we match up. Negative 2.4. Hopefully we are on the same page. Our final question for today is a problem-solving question dealing with a long-distance telephone plan. Again, the key for any problem-solving question is to find the important information. This question wants us to know how many minutes of long-distance calls did Colin make each month. So they want us to find the minutes. We will start by labeling our variable and then underlining everything that's important. We have the 5 cents a minute for his calls, $4.95 for his monthly fee, and the total charges are $18.75. So as we set up our equation, the first step is just start with what you know. Well, I know the total has to add to $18.75, so I'm going to make the equation equal that. That much I know for sure. I know that the question wants us to find the minutes, so we're going to have an X in there somewhere. And then I have to ask myself, well, how much does it cost per minute? And of course, it costs 5 cents, which will be 0.05. And then as well, the only piece of missing information we have is the monthly fee. Of course, the monthly fee is not tied to his minutes. That's an independent charge. So that will just be plus 4.95 just by itself. Suddenly, it's not a difficult problem-solving question anymore, but just a simple equation we can work with, no trouble at all. 7.5 minus 4.95 with 13.8. Divide both sides by 0.05. Divided by 0.05. And our answer is Colin made 276 minutes worth of long distance calls. All right, that's it for today's lesson. Thank you for your time and goodbye.